Hello, bon dia. Welcome to NBP Hotseat with Ibrahim Ababu. Continuing our world tour after Africa, Asia, Latin America, we settled today in Europe and specifically in Romania. As today we have the pleasure to welcome Mr. Cosmin Ghita, who is the CEO of Nuclearelectrica, which was founded in 1998 and is the only nuclear energy producer in Romania. The company presently operate 2 nuclear units with an installed capacity of 1,400 megawatts. Also, Mr. Ghita is a governor in the board of governors of the World Association of Nuclear Operators, WANO. He is the first Romanian to hold this position at the international level in the nuclear industry. Mr. Ghita was appointed as an energy advisor to the Prime Minister of Romania in 2017. Welcome, Cosmin. Glad to host you today.
Thank you very much, Ibrahim, for having me here to speak to you and to benefit of the attention of your audience as well this morning.
It's our pleasure. First of all, can you tell us briefly about the history and role of Nuclearelectrica plays in the Romanian energy sector?
Sure, gladly. Romania already has 25 years of experience and expertise in operating nuclear power plants with an internationally acknowledged nuclear safety track record. As well, Romania ranks first worldwide in terms of capacity factor, which in itself is a solid proof of robust maintenance program, nuclear safety culture. So we've managed to bring our company to the top in terms of nuclear performance and stay there. So for Romania, Nuclearelectrica means not only a market share of approximately 20% in base load and a third of the clean energy that's provided, also a source of saving emissions of CO2, but also a standard of excellence in terms of operations in the energy system.
Great to hear. And how supportive is the government and the public toward nuclear energy in Romania?
Very, very supportive. The Romanian energy strategy includes the expansion of nuclear capacities as both a solution to decarbonization, grid stability and energy security, plus a backup for renewables expansion. And that's where we're looking very closely at small modular reactors to complement that in terms of load following, which is a great feature that they can offer better than traditional reactors. As it concerns the public support, the percentage of population in favor of nuclear energy is fairly high. In Romania, 75% of the population supports life extension of Cernavoda nuclear power plant, which is nearing that. 69% support investments in new nuclear. 68% supports the development of units 3 and 4. 63% know that nuclear is safe. 70% that it's clean. And 81% think that our company has very good specialists. These results are backed by years of constantly communicating the full range of benefits from safety, lack of CO2 emissions going through investment needs, economic and social. So public opinion plays a crucial role in developing the nuclear industry. And what I have to emphasize is that it takes constant work from this point of view based on, knowing the real concerns of the immediate population and addressing them.
Yes, and it's fantastic to see such support. And as you said, it's crucial to have public support for a successful nuclear program. Staying on the same trend, I understand that Romania has committed to phase out coal by 2030, if I'm not mistaken. What role will nuclear play in replacing coal?
So Romania, in line with the measures and target of the European Commission, a Clean Planet for All, Fit for 52, taxonomy, and all the documents that basically show how the energy transition should go at the EU level, us being an EU member, has clear decarbonization targets, which means simultaneously a gradual reduction of highly CO2 emitting sources, such as coal-based capacities, and a gradual increase in clean sources such as nuclear and renewables. So we're looking to reduce CO2 emissions by 55% as a country until 2030, reduce import dependency from 20.8% to 17.8% in 2030, and retire up to 4.59 gigawatts electric of coal capacities by 2032. Obviously, we need all energy forms to do that. That's a big challenge for us. So nuclear capacities play an essential role. Both the large reactors in terms of supplying baseload capacity, but also small modular reactors, so we can not only replace physical coal capacities, and that's what we have in mind at this point, but to continue to provide in the grid per se, but also to continue providing social and economic benefits to communities that have been working around coal facilities and that have developed a good expertise that can be leveraged. On top of that, we think that small modular reactors will do a very good job in supplementing some functions on load following for renewables, on which Romania is very bullish on as well.
Fantastic. And we will come back to SMRs later, where we will go further in details into that. And also, so can you explain to us or guide us a little bit what are the future plans for nuclear new build in Romania?
Yes, so right now we're looking in terms of new build is units 3 and 4, which will add, this is our legacy brownfield project using the existing CANDU technology that we've proven very well on our current Cernavoda site. This will add 1,400 megawatts into the grid, but also unlock a lot of economic efficiencies. On top of that, we're looking to deploy a 6-module NuScale reactor at the Voyager 6 that they're promoting at around 77 megawatts a piece, so around 462. And it's planned to be deployed on a former coal-based facility site. So we're looking to have that particular to leverage the infrastructure for electricity transmission in that sense.
And have you set up an expected date for that, for the SMR reactors to be completed?
I think that the SMR reactors will be coming online this decade. More or less around probably late towards this decade, probably fully completed around the same time as the project that's currently going on and being contracted in the US by NuScale at UAMS.
Yes, and as you mentioned also that for unit 3 and 4 of Cernavoda NBP, can you share also the expected date of completion? Have any activities on this project started already, such as feasibility studies and preparatory works?
Yes, so the timeline is in 2030 to commission Unit 3, towards the end of the year. We've started phase 1 of the project last year, signed the first contract. We already have the feasibility study for it. We're putting together a license basis document so we can have the full standards and codes agreed with our regulator, so we can push the project forward. And that's a good amount of work over the course of this year. That will take us on the course of this year, and then probably if all complete successfully, we'll go into phase 2.
Great. And who is your partner in that project?
Currently, we're developing the project under intergovernmental agreement with the US, but obviously being the technology being Canadian, we have we also have the involvement of the original equipment manufacturer and technology and SSS provider, which is CANDU Energy. And plus we're working closely with companies in the EU that have been such as France and Italy, that have been traditionally involved in other projects here, as well as Unit 1 and Unit 2 at Cernavoda along the supply chain.
Fantastic to hear that. And as you mentioned earlier about the EU taxonomy, how would the taxonomy inclusion of nuclear as a sustainable investment benefit nuclear development in Romania?
Well, I think it's not about just Romania. I think it's about the European Union as a whole. I think the taxonomy, including nuclear, especially at the beginning, would offer a levelized playing field for nuclear deployment around Europe. It will be a signal to the capital markets that the technology is clean, so we can draw down not just on EU funds, but also attract private capital. So the way in which we see it from all the studies that have been developed in this area is that by having nuclear development around the same time with renewables, you can have a more efficient and sustainable energy transition. Otherwise, it's going to be, the costs are going to be inflating in the trillions of the overarching energy transition. So including it would be very important for the success of the transition as a whole, as well as it would be a boost for projects Europe-wide, as well as in Romania.
Absolutely, and not just, it wouldn't just benefit Europe, but the whole world. Even countries in Africa, in Asia, in Latin America can benefit from that. Also moving on, for Nuclearelectrica has tried over the past many years to start the new build program using different approaches. What is the different now in your approach?
So up until now, the development started at a company level, and as we know, a lot of these projects have a strong government component. Obviously, in all projects, as being a state-owned enterprise, we've had a strong involvement of the government. But this time around, the fact that the project was first started with an intergovernmental agreement, I think, is a way in which it signals the government's commitment towards a project, a nuclear project, and then we can definitely work on top of that. That's why we've had the comfort to already start the works as opposed to previous phases that we're currently advancing right now, and the first contract that was signed last year. So for us, it's a very clear indication that the government's ready to commit, and we know very well that new builds are very hard to achieve without state support.
Yeah, absolutely, very interesting. And lastly, my last question: what message would you share with countries which are planning to introduce nuclear power to their energy mix? What lesson can they learn from Romania?
Well, the one thing is, I think that it's very important to learn a lot and absorb as much as possible from experience of other nuclear utilities. We have done it in the past. We've used, former coal operators in the 70s that we then sent over to Canada to train in this particular technology. I think it's important that this is a particular attribute of the nuclear industry. And that has to do with information sharing and learning from one another. We're a very collaborative industry. So I think it's very important that they do not fret that. That's second, I think it has to do with a preparation for a nuclear culture and a nuclear safety culture, especially around, if you see something, you report it, being very, very transparent in that sense is important for the success of a nuclear safety operation and nuclear safety culture. So I think in that sense, not feeling so to speak, pressured, or I wouldn't say attacked, but not feeling like being in the spotlight is important when dealing with nuclear and learning about nuclear and saying what you know and what you don't know, because the industry is super collaborative. So it's a great opportunity for countries to assimilate a lot of this and to develop a very healthy nuclear safety culture. In that sense, to be able to achieve performance on their own.
Indeed. Thanks once again, Cosmin, for these great enlightenments about the nuclear situation in Romania. I applaud all the effort and initiative Romania has done to develop and expand nuclear energy. And I wish to see in the short coming years some nuclear units flourishing very soon. So to all our viewers, feel free to leave your feedback and question in the comments box below, and do subscribe to our channel if you would like to gain more insight from global nuclear leaders. Stay tuned for next episode of NBP Hotseat.